Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We all know and love Deadpool as the merc with a mouth, the fourth wall breaking, chimichanga-loving anti-hero who cracks wise while cracking skulls. His movies are alright, and he's one of the funniest characters in the entire Marvel Universe. But today, we're putting the jokes aside. We're diving deep into the comic book source material to uncover the moments that aren't so funny. The moments that are genuinely dark, disturbing, and sometimes just plain tragic. Because behind the mask and the constant stream of one-liners is a character forged in pain, trauma, and profound psychological distress. So buckle up, because this isn't the Deadpool you see in the movies. This is a journey into the bleakest corners of Wade Wilson's history. Let's start with one of the most infamous and brutal storylines in Deadpool's history. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. The title says it all, doesn't it? But the how is what makes it so chilling. In this story, the voices in Deadpool's head, the ones we usually find so amusing, are replaced by a new sinister voice. This voice tells him the truth, that he and everyone he knows are just characters in a comic book, puppets for our entertainment. His reaction? Not a witty fourth wall break. Instead, he decides the only merciful thing to do is to end it all. And he does so with horrifying efficiency. He doesn't just defeat the heroes. He annihilates them in the cruelest ways imaginable. He leaves Spider-Man to die after shooting him in the head. He uses Pym particles to blow up the Avengers from the inside out. He even turns on his own friends, like Cable and Domino. It's a non-stop slaughterhouse that shows what happens when Deadpool's meta-awareness curdles into pure nihilistic rage. It's a truly disturbing read that reframes his entire gimmick in a much darker light. But Deadpool's darkness isn't always directed outward. Some of his most disturbing moments are deeply personal and tragic. Let's talk about his time in the Weapon X program. We see glimpses of this in the movies, but the comics paint a far grimmer picture. The place was called the Hospice, a facility for failed superhuman experiments. It was a torture chamber run by the sadistic Dr. Killy and his enforcer, Ajax. Wade was subjected to endless agonizing experiments designed to activate his latent mutant genes. He was tortured, mutilated, and pushed to the absolute brink of sanity. The psychological toll was immense. He formed a morbid Deadpool with other inmates, betting on who would die next. It was this hellish environment that broke Wade Wilson and forged the unhinged persona of Deadpool. His healing factor, the very thing that makes him nearly immortal, was born from this unimaginable suffering. It constantly regenerates his cancer-riddled body, leaving him in a state of perpetual agony and preventing him from ever truly finding peace, even in death. This desire for an end brings us to another dark facet of his character, his frequent and often failed attempts to end his own life. This isn't played for laughs. It's a core part of his tragedy. Because of his incredible healing factor, Deadpool simply cannot die. He's tried everything you can imagine and things you can't. He shot himself, blown himself up, even tried to get the Hulk to smash him into oblivion. In one particularly bleak storyline, he seeks out a serum that will cancel his healing factor, all so he can finally succumb to his cancer and find peace. But even that is ripped away from him. This recurring theme underscores the deep-seated depression and self-loathing that fuel the character. The constant jokes and chaotic energy are a mask, a coping mechanism to deal with the fact that he is trapped in a life of unending pain with no escape. It's a heavy, sobering reality for a character so often portrayed as a cartoon. Let's talk about his relationships, which are often just as tragic. Remember Copycat, the character Vanessa in the movies is based on? In the comics, their story is far more heartbreaking. Deadpool's hired to kill her, but fell in love instead. However, he eventually left her, believing his cancer made him unworthy of her love. Later, in a fit of rage and jealousy, he brutally attacks her new boyfriend Garrison Kane, and even goes so far as to nearly suffocate Vanessa herself. It's a moment of pure, ugly possessiveness that's hard to reconcile with the lovable rogue. But perhaps the most disturbing relationship is the one he had with Siren, the daughter of Banshee. He became obsessed with her, viewing her as a beacon of purity that could save him. This obsession manifested as straight-up stalking. He would watch her from afar, collecting her discarded items, including strands of hair. It was creepy, invasive, and showed a complete lack of boundaries, painting him not as a romantic anti-hero, but as a deeply disturbed individual whose trauma makes him incapable of forming healthy connections. And then there's the time Deadpool had a daughter, Eleanor Camacho. For a while, this seemed like a chance for Wade to find some semblance of normalcy and happiness. He genuinely loved his daughter and tried to be a good father, keeping his distance to protect her from his dangerous life. But this is a Deadpool story, so of course, it ends in tragedy. An enemy from his past, a villain named Butler who is connected to the Weapon X program, tracks Ellie down. In a gut-wrenching turn of events, Deadpool is forced into a situation where his daughter is taken and her life is threatened. The entire storyline is a testament to the fact that Deadpool's past will always come back to haunt him, and anyone he cares about will inevitably be caught in the crossfire. It's a brutal reminder that a happy ending is something Wade Wilson may never get to have, no matter how hard he tries to be better. It solidifies the curse of his existence. He is destined to be alone, surrounded by the ghosts of those he failed to protect. Finally, we have to talk about one of the most vile things he's ever done, and it's something the movies would never touch. In the Uncanny X-Force run, the team finds a clone of Apocalypse, reborn as a young, innocent child. The team is torn. Can they justify killing a child, even if he's destined to become one of the world's greatest tyrants? While the rest of the team hesitates, weighed down by morality, Deadpool makes a decision. He approaches the boy, who looks up at him with trust. And then, Deadpool executes him in cold blood. He justifies it as the only logical choice, the only way to prevent untold future suffering. But the act itself is monstrous. It's the cold, hard calculus of a killer, completely devoid of the usual humor. It shows that when the chips are down, Deadpool is capable of making the darkest choices imaginable, crossing lines that even characters like Wolverine won't cross. It's a moment that fundamentally changes how you see him, proving that under the red suit, there's a capacity for utter ruthlessness. So, there you have it. From nihilistic massacres to personal tragedies and morally reprehensible acts, the comic book history of Deadpool is littered with moments that are anything but funny. These stories don't diminish his character. They add layers of complexity and tragedy that make him one of the most compelling figures in comics. He's a jester crying on the inside, a man who uses humor to scream into the void of his own painful existence. So the next time you see him cracking a joke on the big screen, remember the darkness he came from. It makes his quest for even a sliver of light and redemption all the more powerful. Thanks for watching, everyone. What do you think is Deadpool's darkest moment? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. See you in the next one.